Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and I hope you're ready to make history. We're about to embark on a first here in all of music reviewing, from what I understand. I have scoured the internet. I've looked at every page on pitchfork.org. I have read every book about music reviewing history available. From everything that I've seen, to my knowledge, there is thus far in music reviewing been no such thing as a speed run review. Taking an album and approaching it as if it were a video game that you're trying to finish really fast. I don't think a reviewer has ever been brave enough to do or try such a thing. And I'm going to do that right now with you guys with a record that, from what I understand, is also making history. That is the new 6ix9ine album, Leyenda Viva. Just dropped, just came out. Record, from what I understand, is doing numbers. Every song platinum, most influential record ever. Because the album is making history, I figured it was only right to come on here and make history also in the face of it by speed running my review of the record. All right, here we are. Album's right here. First track. Austin is going to put a timer on the screen, so we're keeping track of the time. Just to prove to you guys, I will be the fastest review of this album. Nobody else's review of this record will be as fast as mine. All right, let's kick it off with the song Bori. Okay, first track, super basic chord progression, sad Latin pop, singing with loads of auto-tune. 6ix9ine's vocals, of course, are mid, epic guitar solo toward the end. So what? It's bland. I'm feeling a light 3 on this track. The second track, pretty much the same thing. I don't really get the vibe and dynamic that 6ix9ine is going for on this album. Like, what is the point of a bunch of super sad, in your feels, Latin ballads that nobody really wants to hear, and you are putting yourself up against a vocalist repeatedly for numerous tracks on the album who is far better at singing than you and just makes you sound like crap. Feeling a decent 2 on this one. Look, I will say this about that track. Instrumental was definitely peppier. Love those plucky little string melodies. That was cool. But again, 6ix9ine, I just think vocally doesn't really bring a whole lot to this Latin pop vibe. I did like those big vocals on the hook. Pacing of the beat was cool, but still there's so much about it that's bland, and would I go back to this? It kind of sounds like something out of a goddamn Disney soundtrack, and not in a good way. I suppose this track's a light 4. Yeah, bad vocal range, generic song, and all the auto-tune is so heavy-handed, it's like listening to a sad robot in Espanol. Like, again, he does not have too much vocal range on this or any track, and his timbre most of the time is very nasal and unflattering, and just he's not a good singer. Why he would do an entire record of something like this, I don't know, but like, I know he's had a few hits that are sort of in this lane, but most of those tracks doing well can be attributed to the fact that at the time they dropped, that was a different sound for him to do, and people were kind of like curious, oh, okay, he's trying something different, he's doing something new. Now, it just kind of sounds like very one-dimensional. It's very narrow, and on top of it, there have been so many artists who've come up in the Latin field in terms of, like, mainstream Latin pop and trap fusions and so on and so forth, who actually have strong, memorable, interesting voices and actually, bring personality on the mic and pick much better instrumentals. I just don't really see what this record so far is bringing to this field. It's not bringing anything to it. You should kind of just really take it out into the field and put it down, put it out of its misery. That last track was a decent 2, by the way. I do love a good boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba-boom, ba. But like, there's all these funny little electronic synthy bits and kind of whooshing bass synths popping out here and there. Is this like a reggaeton dubstep mix? If it is, it's not sounding good and it's kind of a bad idea. I'll give this one also a decent 2. Okay, look, this track, I'll say production's clean, hook is there, vocals sound fine, it's very pristine, it's atmospheric, it's a little melodramatic too. It's not terrible. It's not terrible on the ears. I could give it a light 4. I give it a light 4. You know, or maybe even like a decent 5 on a good day. However, like, anybody could have written this. Anybody could have recorded this. Is there anything about this track that feels specific to 6ix9ine? No, absolutely not. It just kind of feels like very much coloring by the numbers for, you know, what we hear in a lot of modern Latin trap at the moment. Somehow done with less personality than you hear on average as far as mainstream stuff goes. And the further I go into this project, the more there just doesn't feel like there's any soul or passion behind anything that's happening. I feel like we're at a point where 6ix9ine just really wants to stay in music and making a living off of music. However, like, given everything that's transpired over the last several years, like, he's pretty much made so many enemies and obliterated so many bridges in the hip hop world that there's no possible way, no possible chance, no shot that like he could ever make a rap career ever again. So this track score wise, I don't know. I could give it a meh, a blah, 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 blah. First genuinely fire track on the entire record. Beat carries, but still, it's got that peppy driving pace, those chords hitting on the upbeat. It's got those big pounding boom, 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 percussive hits. And then, of course, that big male gang group chorus is hype as fuck. It may be a little clean, it may be a little too overproduced, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. It's well assembled. It's got some interesting sounds and bits in it. Respect to this one. I'm feeling like a strong 6, a light 7 on this one. Possibly. Yeah, pretty much sounds like the music bed for a commercial advertising a cruise. That's pretty much what it sounds like. Gonna rate that last song, some heat coming off of this one too. Y ahora. I mean, listen, I'm going to say I think a lot of the appeal of this track comes down to a grupo firme here. It really kind of comes down to them, I think, with the acoustic guitar bits, the horns, the grand group vocals. Here and there, 6ix9ine is pulling some fire production, some fire collaborations, you know, to the point where it's like making up for his mediocrity. That much, I suppose, is good. Outside of that, a lot of music here just sounds like some generic music beds for a Latin soap, including this song. It's very much a credits roll kind of moment. It starts almost like a David Bowie rock and roll kind of vibe, and then all of a sudden the rest of the instrumentation comes in. It gets super grand. Those Latin flavors start pouring through, and it's going in a different direction entirely. I can't believe I just compared David Bowie to 6ix9ine. But that's the kind of insanity that you get in a speedrun review. Okay, all right. He's closing things out with a rap track. He's giving us some Spanish, giving us some English, giving us some Spanglish, some sad little guitar licks, telling us there's no hood he can't go to, so on and so forth. And yeah, I suppose it's all right. I suppose it's given us a very light touch of that typical 6ix9ine flavor. It's listenable. Sounds kind of specific to him, I suppose, vocally. Nothing I really hate about it, but nothing I'm really taking away from it either. Pretty on the fence with it. And yeah, those are my reactions and my thoughts on the tracks in general. Made it through the record in a time shorter than the record's actual runtime. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the nature of a speed run review. God, I'm feeling like maybe like a strong 3 on this. Yeah, it's just kind of like a lot of badly sung and generically written and produced trash outside of like, you know, a couple of tracks here and there that have like really good instrumentals and collabs that like actually like, you know, make a 6ix9ine album somehow listenable in 2023. But aside from those flashes in the pan, this album doesn't really have too much going for it. History made, y'all. History made. Promises made. Promises kept. I hope you're doing well. Over here next to my head is another video to check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. I'm a little sunburnt. If you're watching this far into the video, say mwah, 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 mwah in the comments, okay? All right, cool. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Anthony Fantano, forever.